Hey, Facebook Live. It's Ermedine. I'm out here in the woods and the grasslands of Minnesota. And I wanted to just check in on everybody and see how you're doing with this working at home business. Oh boy, Zoom is getting overworked this week, right? And Skype and Google Hangouts, I think. I haven't used it. But it's getting real, right? Working at home is getting really real because all of a sudden it's not so much fun anymore. I've had a number of people that are not used to working home that I visited with in the last few days, talk about how difficult this is. How initially they thought it was going to be so much fun, and where it's actually kind of boring and it's hard to get things done. So I don't have little kids at home. I don't have any kids at home, but I remember what it was like. And I'll tell you, those of you who have kids at home, moms and dads and siblings who are trying to take care of kids at home while you're trying to work at home, bless you. I'm telling you, I know it's hard. I can't even imagine homeschooling and working from home. But I found a couple of things that helped me. I'm in my 10th year of working from home. For a good while, for about 5 years, I worked from home as a corporate nurse and just traveled from my home. And I want to get the light here. When I first started working from home, it was so hard. Like, I was all alone, and and I didn't realize that it was a thing. 10 years ago, it was just starting to be kind of a thing. Now, I read a study that they did on people that came on a group of 900 workers in China a number of years ago, and they had half of them stay home for 9 months and half of them continued to work. And at the end of those 9 months, they were asked what their happiness level was and engagement level and how things were, what did they think of and what did they think about it. And the fact is that those that worked from home actually did have more productivity than those that were working from their job. But they also had things they had to hit. Like they had to hit so many calls per minute. They had to have so many sales in a day. And so there was things that they actually had to hit that kept them on track. But at the end of 9 months, the ones that were at home were happier, more engaged, less likely to leave. But so that's the productivity side. But there's the human side, and the human side is after that time, they asked those half that were at home if they in fact wanted to go back to work and grind it out. And initially they were, I guess, staying at home for 4 days a week and working 1 day a week. But they were asked if they wanted to go back to work 5 days a week, and over half of them said they did. Over half of them wanted to go back to work. And the reason they cited was because they were lonely. So there's a productivity side. And I would say that my daughter, Jacqueline, she'd probably kill me for saying this, but she sent me a picture, or she sent probably a few people a picture of her laying on the ground in her living room, just like, this is me trying to focus at work on my third week of being at home from work. And she just said, I don't think I'm made to be at home, not with this job that I'm doing. I just can't do it. And I went for a walk with my neighbor today, 6 feet apart, of course. And she's a cosmetologist, and Patty, shout out to you. And she just said, well, I've cleaned and I've done a lot of things. I'm getting kind of bored, actually. And so this working at home thing and being quarantined is fun. And it's great in some senses of the word, but it's also difficult and hard for humans. I think that's why, because we're human beings, we need that social contact and that touch. So I just wanted to say a couple things about the productivity. So as I said, I started working from home over 10 years ago when I was a corporate nurse. Found it after 30 years of nursing to be extremely lonely. Even though I had cohorts I was working out of their home with, we had time, to visit with each other, but it was still very lonely. And you do get used to it, but you have to keep yourself on track, and you have to definitely have an agenda or a list. I'm a list person, and I'm going to guess there's a lot of list people out there like myself that, Deidre says, only on my first week, but I really enjoy the flexibility. Yes, it is flexible. You can work till 10 o'clock if you want and have a 3-hour lunch. So that's the good part of it. Yeah, I was when I worked from home, I just had to make sure that I kept track of what it was that I needed to get done every day, and it was not so easy because there wasn't apps like there is back then. I just want to give you guys an idea. There's an app called Pomodoro, and it's really great. It's a 23-minute timer. And what it does is it helps you focus for 23 minutes, and then it goes off, and you can snooze it, or you can have it and you can have a 5-minute wait, and you can get back at it. But if that doesn't go off, and it clicks, click, 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 and it keeps you really thinking about the fact that it's only been 3 minutes and you're ready to stop focusing, and you're like, oh, look at that, something shiny. But like I said, I'm a list person, and I bet there's other people that are list people as well. The kind, that you did something and it's not on the list, so you write it on the list so that you can cross it off the list. I know you're out there too, because I'm there. But make yourself a list. I have a whiteboard that I started using a good while ago with the days of the week and the projects that I'm working on, and I put things on there for every day. So if this is going to be a period of time for you, a month or 2 weeks or a month or whatever this coronavirus is asking us to do, decide the night before, maybe even, or before you leave your office that day, what is on the list for tomorrow. Because if you wait till the next morning, it actually sometimes is hard to remember what's due. And so I've kind of started my list the night before 5 o'clock when I get off work, right? And so the next morning you're fresh and you're like, oh, look at that. That's right. I have to call Joe about the budget, and I have to, create something on Canva or whatever it might be. I have to write this policy. And if you didn't make the list the day before, you might forget kind of where you're at, and it would actually take longer to figure it out the next morning. So make a list of things that need to be done. But for that day, when you get up that morning, when you go to that list, it might be 12. It might be a whole page long. Pick 3 to 5 things that you are going to get done in that day. Give yourself a couple of bigger projects and a number of smaller projects, but give yourself at least 3 to 5 things that you say, depending on how long each one of them are, I have to get these done today. If I don't get these done, I'm not going to feel productive, and I'm not really getting my job done, and it's going to be there tomorrow. Because I'll tell you, it's easy to screw off a day, right? Very easy, especially if Facebook keeps sending an Instagram or Twitter or whatever you have on your phone or laptop or computer, or if they keep sending notifications, that's very distracting, and it takes hours away. I struggle with that, and so if I can, I remember to shut off my notifications, and that helps a lot. The other thing is put your phone on silent, so if somebody calls, you don't feel like you have to answer it, or there's no notifications on your phone. Have a use that Pomodoro or something like that, and have the the list, and people have tasks on in their calendars, and just all kinds of look under the apps. There's so many opportunities for you to have things that will remind you and help you to stay productive along the way. And then I kind of want to talk about the human portion of it. So that's the productivity side, making sure that during these days and weeks that we are away from our work, our actual job, that we don't fall behind in the things that really need to get done for our place of business, whether it's our own business or we're working for somebody else, that you know that you don't fall behind, because it would be really easy to do that, right? And, did somebody say, is my list on my hand? Yes, it is. I write a lot on my hand. So the human part of it is the part that talks about, that I want to talk about, that is really very hard, is probably the hardest part, is the being lonely. And I need to have conversation with people, and I need to have time to talk about stuff. And it could be personal stuff, but it also could be work stuff. And so for those of you that have companies that, you know, I'm sure you've already set up Zoom calls, and you've set up Google Hangout calls and Skype calls and things like that. Those are helpful, even though it's a pain, I have to get to this meeting, but it's really, really helpful to your psyche to have somebody to talk to and bounce things off. If you own your own business like I do, I need to find those people that are doing what I'm doing and visit with them during my day. It's easy. I actually did a Zoom call with my daughter this afternoon, and it went longer than it probably should have for both of us, but generally speaking, I do a Zoom call with somebody who I can bounce things off of for my own business, and that just helps me, because then they can bounce things off of me as well. But you have to get out of the house, and even if you can't get out of the house to talk to people, get out of your room, get into somebody else's room, look at their backdrop, whatever it is, but spend time talking to people. And the other thing is that many people have these, watches and Fitbits and things like that tell them to get up. So you can see, this is my back of my backyard. It's behind my yard, actually. And whether it's spring, summer, winter, fall, sorry, I have a call coming in. I come out here and try to take a walk every hour or two. And so get out of your house, go for a walk around the block, spend some time just getting some fresh air, moving the blood, because most people could sit at a computer a whole day, and then all of a sudden you're through like 3 bags of Doritos and a liter of pop. I mean, it's crazy. And coffee. So you need to get out and exercise. And that's also my push for having good immune system for the coronavirus. 3 things for sure. 1, make sure you're eating healthy and you have your immune system up where it needs to be. 2, make sure that you're getting exercise and your body is strong and healthy. 3, get enough sleep. 6 to 8 hours for sure a night if you can. Those 3 things, when and if you get the virus, are going to be the things for regular everyday people that are going to be able to help you fight off that virus, right? But back to the human part of it, take time to get up, move around, move your body, call people, talk to people, do Zoom calls, do face-to-face, FaceTime calls, whatever it takes. But spend some time so that you're not miserable. Yesterday I had a rough day. I'm not going to lie. I had a rough day where I think it was really cloudy most of the day for me, and I was feeling very sluggish. Like I could have just slept and slept and slept. And it took a lot of coffee and some definite intentional energy to keep me awake and focused. And you'll have those days probably, but especially with what's going on in the world, it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, right? But generally speaking, if you have a good, try to get yourself in the intention of having a good day and being productive and talking to people and seeing people, even if it's through a screen. It's all good. And spend time just really listening to what you need, and don't ignore it, right? So for those of you working at home, and again, I said this in the beginning, but those of you working at home with children at home, like, God bless you. Oh my Lord, I don't know how you do it. I have a hard time doing it, and I'm alone. So Wayne works all day. So good for you. And I'm sure there's some mamas on there that have kids at home that are working. If that's true, maybe you can put in the comments below what you do when you have children to help somebody else out at home who's working at home with kids. And maybe I'll work on that and talk about that next week. But I'm gonna go and be productive and be happy at home, and we'll make it through this. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna thrive. This country is gonna thrive. This world is gonna thrive, and we'll just find a new way of living for a while, right? Change is not always bad. So take care and stay healthy, and 6 feet away from people, but you can still get outside and hang with them, and have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.